Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm really excited to have you guys here today. We have another great guest that I think is going to interest a lot of you that are veterans. But before we get started with my guest, I want you to run over to YouTube and follow us on Superbrand Publishing. And you're listening to this broadcast, so you're already listening to the podcast. Go over and leave us a review on iTunes. I'd love it if you could leave us 5 stars over there. So today's guest is Mario Fields, is a one-of-a-kind individual, and I found that out when I was talking to him. I found him over on LinkedIn. He always strives not only to be the best, but always also to bring the best out in people. His knowledge is in being a true leader in business and in life, and it really sets him apart from everyone else. Sure, I can talk today. His company is called Global Inspirational Leaders, and I want to talk about that a lot today. So welcome, Mario.
No, thank you, Juliet. I appreciate you having me on this wonderful show. And your smile, by the way, is about 6 stars. So I'm gonna give you a 6 smile.
Well, thank you. 6 out of 10 or 6 out of?
Now, normally the average is a 5 star. We'll go.
Oh, okay. All right. Just making sure
star.
there. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is the first time that Mario and I have actually seen each other on camera. Last time we talked, we did it just audio. So, tell us a little bit about your background and your business and what you're doing and why you're doing it, because that's what really impressed me the most.
No, I appreciate it. So I did 26 years in the Marine Corps. I retired as a sergeant major. I've been married since I was 19 years old, I'm more proud of that than anything. But I've been married since I was 19. My wife's a Navy veteran, and we've been married over 25 years. We have 2 adult children. My daughter, Miranda, she'll be 25 in June. And then my son, he's Mario Jr., if you will, he'll be 23, or he's 23, he'll be 24 this year. So that is a quick background about me. As far as the business, Global Inspirational Speakers is a speakers and consultants bureau that primarily focuses on representing dynamic military speakers. So what that means is they're retired, they're very dynamic in all industries. And the key part of that is they have to be inspirational. And that's the big one, is they have to be inspirational, credentialed by those who have heard them speak. So they can't say, I'm an inspirational speaker. Well, that's like me saying I'm tall and I'm not.
Okay. And there are a lot of speakers out there who will tell you they're inspirational, and you're right. They're not so much. The story is inspirational to them, but not to a lot of
Absolutely.
A lot of people around them.
Absolutely. And Global Inspirational Speakers services all sectors, for-profit, nonprofit. But the one thing I really love about Global Inspirational Speakers is all of our independent, non-exclusive speakers believe in creating opportunities for their clients to unleash potential. And so we focus, believe it or not, a lot on the nonprofit civic sector, more so than a for-profit speaking engagements, which makes us very unique when you compare us to other speakers bureaus.
That's really great. So when you say inspirational, tell me about some of your speakers that kind of guide us into what kind of speakers you look for, because you were very clear with me that you don't take everyone.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, for instance, John Vitello. John Vitello is one of my speakers. He's always traveling. So I think he's in United Arab Emirates right now, but he may be somewhere else. But we'll use him for example. What a lot of folks don't know is he's a Beirut bomber survivor from 1982.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
He came in 1982. Beirut bomb happened in 1983, and then then he retired after 4 years. But he went on to be a CEO, a successful business leader, graduated #1 out of his college. Just an amazing professional, amazing Marine, and he's an example of the type of quality speakers that I have in the company.
That's really great. So what kind of topics do you guys go out and speak on generally? Are they workshops? Are they keynotes?
Variety. So it could be keynote speech for a graduation, consulting. We do consulting. So maybe there's a C-level or C-suite group of folks who need some, some consulting. So we have CEOs that can consult fellow CEOs in any sector. Narration, an organization might need a narrator to narrate an event. Well, we have those speakers who can narrate. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the podcast with Juliet. So the speakers that I have, the unique speakers that are in Global Inspirational Speakers, can provide services to all aspects of the public speaking industry. And that's what makes it very unique.
That's very cool. So I noticed when I was on your website, a lot of them have a lot of expertise in some areas that, not only like the discipline corporate America would need, but they have some deep expertise in some other areas as well. Could you share a little bit of that?
Right. And so the reason why, and that was deliberate, Juliet, because the name of the company means something. And I wanted to ensure in a global environment, I had speakers who can provide global services to organizations. And that's why when you look at the landing pages and you review the topics and the skill sets of the speakers, you get this global dynamic perspective. So for instance, I have speakers that can speak on leadership, large companies, more than, 1,000 employees, leveraging technology to lead and manage in a global environment. I have speakers who can talk about surviving rape and the impact of that, and how do you survive that? How do you thrive through a major event in your life that's traumatic? I have a Silver Star recipient who can talk to the audience about how do you perform when, in combat, when you have machine guns shooting directly at you. But in the private sector, when you have COVID, right, COVID-19, who in my eyes is just the same. It's a very challenging situation. And how do you thrive through a kind of uncertain situation where it seems like it's doom and gloom? So those are just a couple of topics that our speakers can provide to any organization.
Wow, that is so great. And there's so many people right now who are really unsure, like, what is my path? Where is my next step? Where is my next paycheck coming from? So, those are really great, great paths for them to take. But even more, a lot of your people have that experience from what they were trained to do in the military, yes. Don't they?
Yeah, so 99% of global inspirational speakers have served. That doesn't mean we don't take military speakers. I mean, Dr. Jill Goldenziel, for instance, she never served in the military, but she is doing amazing things in Quantico, and she does a lot with the military. But to go to your question, it's those experiences deployed, the moments of deprivation for months, no internet, no communication, having to accomplish a mission with minimum resources, using innovation and ingenuity and leveraging the team to accomplish a mission. That's what all of our speakers bring, which I think you can't teach that in college. I mean, there's not enough money you can pay to get those skills. You have to go through them and live through them and fail as well, but be successful with going through those unique experiences. I mean, we have speakers that have, let's just say, been in some austere places, where the average person go, how the heck did you survive?
Yeah, it's funny. I saw this meme on Facebook a couple weeks ago about for veterans isolation. This is just like another day in their
lives.
It's
a vacation.
And we don't actually think about that. What kind of gigs? I mean, are these paid gigs, unpaid gigs? What kind of audiences are you guys serving?
Combination. So we've serviced, we've provided the speaking services for over 28 events since December of 2018, and they're combination: for-profit, non-profit, speaking engagements, pro bono. So global services all, and we negotiate everything. So there's some organizations that they don't have big budgets. And so this is not an organization that, I say, hey, my speaker's fee is this. And if you don't have the budget for that, then you're not going to get a dynamic speaker. No, that's not how global, that's not how we do business. So yeah, combination of for-profit, nonprofit, paid events, pro bono events. I won't say 360 because you're back to zero, so I go 359.
Okay. So you mentioned to me when we were talking on the phone that your wife is actually the boss of your business,
Yes.
which of course, she's the boss. When you're married, she's the boss of everything. But
Yes.
so tell me a little bit about what propelled you guys, you're married, you work together to say, hey, let's start this business. Let's do this and actually be able to start it, what propelled it, and you're still married. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I didn't want to build global. So it's on the about page, by the way. I did not want to build this company. I fought my wife. And, I'm a Christian, so I fought God's, direction, and the lawyer. So bottom line is when I started my nonprofit in August of 2018, the lawyer and my wife, and they said, well, you're going to have to start a for-profit because if there's any request for a speaking or some type of consulting request from a for-profit corporation, you cannot use a nonprofit for a profit. And I said, well, it's brutal to start a company, especially a nonprofit. So I'm like, no, thank you. Thanks for your advice. You guys are awesome. And I am not doing it. And, well, we speed up to December of 2018. And there was let's just say a company wanted to put me on contract as one of their speakers. And we had already started thinking about, building global. And I was excited to know, babe, let me go on contract for another company. And we don't have to build global. She goes, that's stupid. Mario.
Count on a wife to be blunt.
Yes. And so we did it. So we came up with the name and said, I want it to be global, definitely inspirational. And then we speak, it's a speaking and consulting and coaching industry. So that's what the name came from. And so I tried to play it off. I said, I tried to delay it. I said, babe, it's Christmas time. Money's always tight around December. She goes, here's a credit card. So that's really the story behind Global Inspirational Speakers. Mario Fields did not want to start this company. This is not my dream. This is not something I was like, yeah, since I was, well, I'm already 5'2", so I can't say I was short, but since I was a kid, this is not what I wanted to do, but I followed God's orders. I followed my wife's orders, and here we are today.
Oh, that's really great. So if you're interested, what's the criteria? I know you mentioned inspirational. What is the criteria that your company looks for?
So the one thing, the major thing I look for is, are you dynamic? And do you believe in helping other people? Not, is your heart into creating opportunities for others and unleashing their potential? I mean, that's our slogan. If I called you and said, hey, there's a church that really needs your wisdom, your guidance, they need you to come and speak. And I said, their budget is $500. Would you just do it for, pro bono? Without a doubt, the speaker would say, absolutely. Those are the traits, the leadership traits, the character traits that I look for on top of, are you inspirational? What's your experience? Are you global? Do you have a global perspective? And other things. And then what is the audience saying about you when I look on social media, your LinkedIn page and your social media platforms? Are they saying, yes, Mario Fields motivates and inspires me, or Mario is horrible, but he's just a good person.
Do people actually write that on Facebook?
No, I'm joking. I had to make you smile. But
this guy sucks. Great review.
So those are the things, that I look for. I like to align myself with good people who have, certified their reputation over time through their behavior, and that they believe in helping others more so than the profit. And those are the type of folks I look for. And then as far as application goes, if you notice, there's no apply button on the website. We at Global, we go through referral system, or there's some people who actually, you take the initiative to go, I don't care. I want to figure out how can I apply. And to me, that's an indication that you're serious.
Mm-hmm.
Had speakers actually reach out to me through LinkedIn or other channels to say, hey, I want to get a chance to apply. And that tells me that you're serious and you're committed, potentially coming to this very unique and hard to get in Speakers Bureau.
That's great. So if someone's interested, how do they get a hold of you?
So there's many ways to get a hold of Mario Pierre Fields. The best way is go to the website, and there's a button that says contact us, and they can click on that, and then I'll get the email. My team will get the email, or they can subscribe and send a message. But that's the best way. Optional ways are, of course, LinkedIn, Facebook. I mean, I have all the social media platforms, but the best way is through the website.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with people today. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are looking for speakers, and I'm going to veterans is always a great way to inspire discipline and the things that go along with that. So thank you so much for being on today.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. And your smile again. You know what? During your podcast, we're going to change the metric. We're going to go 12, and your smile's a 13.5.
Thank you. Thank you. What does the Russian judge say? No. All right. Thanks, Mario.
Thank you so much.